All right, we're going to go ahead and try to walk through the River Hills Mall and see what's going on, what's open, what's not, and who's here. So, welcome everyone. I wanted to take this opportunity to just share this video that my wife and I went and did yesterday afternoon, about 3:45, I believe it was, and it was kind of interesting to see what was going on at the mall. So, just to kind of give some background on what's going on. The mall was closed in mid-March. I don't exactly remember the exact date. I think it was around the 18th of March, and I believe it opened up on the 18th of May, which is last Monday. We went Monday night, and there was 2 restaurants open and 3 stores, and that was it. And so we decided to wait a few days before we went back in, and this is kind of what we saw. A lot of the stores were still closed. The benches and seats, anywhere you could sit down, was roped off or taken away. As you can see here in A&W, it basically was empty. A&W and I think Charlie's Steak Sandwiches, I can't remember the name of that place, but they were available for carry-out or curbside, I guess, during the whole time. But they've reconfigured the whole food court area, as you can see here, and they've got in and out and 6 feet social distancing set up. They have all of the tables roped off right now currently, and looks like they've removed about half the tables and chairs. So kind of a different situation or setup from normal. I have some footage that I took back in November that will pop up here in a second. And so this was in November, on the 16th of November, Tuesday night about 5:30, and as you can see, people coming and going, wide open, lots of people together and everything else. So I just thought it would be interesting to contrast a normal November evening with what's going on now, just to kind of see the difference of what's going on. So kind of a stark contrast. But now we're back to Saturday again. We just decided to walk right through the mall and just kind of see who was open and who wasn't. This is, again, Saturday afternoon, May 23rd. And lots of notes on fronts of businesses, talking about why they're closed and how long they're going to be closed and those types of things. There were several stores open when we were in there on Saturday. Journeys is just to the right here, and there was quite a few people in there. I didn't want to freak anybody out, so I didn't film in there. But this store directly to the right, that's Yankee Candle, that's been closed for a while. And these 2 storefronts over here are both empty. Jewelry store, obviously, on the right here is closed. One of the interesting things was that they took out a lot of extra kiosks, the photo booths. They covered the massage chairs. Anywhere that you could sit down was either removed or made so that you couldn't use it. You'll see some other shots I have of things wrapped in plastic and such, but it was interesting to see all the stuff pulled and not see hardly anybody there. I'm heading down towards the Target wing now. Wetzel Pretzels here on the right is a place my wife and I go quite often, and I've never seen it with the gate down ever. So, and VisionWorks here on the right. We've got Hot Topic, and then GameStop coming up here in a moment. And that was really weird to see that closed and with the lights down and everything. So, definitely kind of a surreal atmosphere with some shops open and some shops closed. I've gone in here lots and lots of times, so not much going on in there. Right across the hall here is a piercing place, and they were open. In fact, one of the people in there actually had a face shield that they were using for PPE. So one thing I did want to go through really quickly was sort of kind of the history of the mall, as you can just watch as we go through here and look at things. The River Hills Mall was an enclosed shopping mall, obviously. It was originally built by General Growth Properties in 1991. It opened in July of 91 with Herberger's, Target, and JCPenney's as their 3 main anchors. In August of 2018, Brookfield Property Partners acquired General Growth Properties, and they took over management and upkeep of the mall, along with many others that they own. It's a very large corporation. The mall started out at about 600,000 square feet, and it's grown to over 800,000 square feet now, and I guess they are actually zoned to go up to 1 million, although I don't think there's anywhere for them to go because parking cannot be reduced any further than what it is now. It has approximately 87 tenants and 3,434 parking spots. And so, quite the complex. It also has a food court and an 8-screen movie theater. It has some of its amenities. Lots of fun. And I know just a couple of years ago they converted the movie theater into the lounge chairs, and I've been there several times, and it's a lot of fun. It's very comfortable. It makes going to the movies a lot more fun than what it used to be. In 1994, Scheels moved from Madison East into where Barnes & Noble is currently, and in 2006 they outgrew that space and they moved to where their addition is now, and has been since 2006. Sears joined the mall in 1996. They became the 4th anchor along with Scheels. I guess was the 5th anchor. And unfortunately in 2017 Sears closed its doors, and that building does remain empty at this time. Herberger's, at the end of the Herberger's wing, due to the parent company, the Bon-Ton, being bought out by liquidators, closed in mid-2018, and the building is vacant as well at this time, as far as we know. So, and you'll see both of those coming up towards the end of the video when I get down to that end of the mall. But that was just a little history that I kind of did some research on, and it was quite interesting to find out what all happened and what was going on with the mall. So, there was a lot of doors open halfway, like this one is here on the right at this jewelry store, and I couldn't quite figure it out. Target blocked their door from the mall. Barnes & Noble blocked their door from the mall as well. And it took me a while to figure out it was so that they could control how many people were going in and out of their stores. So they tried to make sure they only had one entry and exit point. So I figured that much out at least. Movie theater was obviously closed up tight, and not much going on in there. Pretty quiet. And this space right here in front of me used to just kind of be a blank, empty space, and then there was a jewelry store at that end. And now it's all been blocked off, and it looks like we have a new store coming in at some point in time here. So we'll be kind of excited to see how that works out. Maybe not the best time to start a store, I don't know. There was one new store down further in the mall, and I'll let you know when we get there, but I thought that was interesting that somebody had started up. This Scooby-Mobile I've noticed in all of like Sal's and Wally's and many of the other videos that do the dead mall stuff. There must be those Scoobies in just about every mall that you go to, so I thought that was interesting as well. So I'm heading down towards, what is this, Caribou on the left, and they were closed up tight, as you can see there. Interesting that Claire's, Christopher Banks, Maurice's, they were all closed. There was a lot of stores that had lights on, and you could see people working to get things ready for opening, but they were closed. This store happens to be a favorite of my wife and I's. We go quite often, and it was fun to see them open and doing business. Victoria's Secret obviously was closed. I think they're closed nationally. I didn't take any pictures of that to keep it family friendly. The interesting thing on the left, you see Buckle. I'll show you a picture here in a bit. Buckle had on their front, I think it was Buckle had on their front door, and said they were going to be back at the end of March. And here it is, third week in May, and they were just not even open yet. So Trade Home was open. Torrid was closed, and the jewelry counter to the left was closed. All the kiosks were closed. More signs here. I find it very interesting watching a lot of the videos that are out there, Faded Commerce and like I mentioned, Sal and Wally B 26 and a lot of the others. I can't think of the names right now, but a lot of the stores in these malls across the country really are the same. It's kind of funny to see. So I guess I just think it's interesting that these malls all have the same candy machines and Scooby mobiles and the same stores. Bath and Body's always next to Hallmark. You see some of those trends. This is an old Sears wing. Sears used to be straight ahead, and then they closed and they put this wall up with a pretty picture, and you can't really tell what was there. All along this wall used to be the small shops that they combined together with some shops around the corner for H&M. So H&M moved in about a year ago, I think it was. Maybe less. I can't remember exactly what date it was, but they're a rather large retailer, and they were actually closed as well. So, and the interesting thing here is you can see they got the plastic wrap on all the games so that they can't be used or sat in or anything. So, and I was really surprised to see that Bath and Body Works wasn't open. They're pretty aggressive. I thought they'd be open, but they weren't. But the interesting thing is, and again, of course, here we have Bath and Body Works and Hallmark right next to each other, and Hallmark was open and looking really good. They had their stuff in good order, and they were in there working and doing their thing, and so it's one of our favorite stores. And on the right is H&M, kind of the last part of H&M. It's quite a large store. This glass section on the right used to be Bath and Body Works. And this is a new store that last November when I started mall walking, they had boarded up, and I thought they were just going to close it off, and they actually built this brand new store. And when we come back around the other side, I kind of show the inside. So. And here's another store that almost every mall that I see in the videos has, and that's the Shoe Encore. I think it's Shoe Encore, Shoe Department, whatever I'm not sure what the name really is, but it's a shoe store. I see them in a lot of the malls. It looked like a bomb went off in there as I walked by. I couldn't believe how many boxes were everywhere. I don't know if somebody went through and made a mess or what happened, but man, oh man, I felt bad for the employees, because you'll see up here in a minute on the right, I stop and look in the window, and it's like there's just boxes everywhere. And just a disaster zone. This was just converted to an arcade not that long ago. I'm thinking maybe 6 or 8 months. I don't know. Maybe it's after Christmas. I guess it isn't that long ago. Christmas time, there was a glass-blowing vendor that came in, who comes every year, who we know, and he had that spot. But then I think right after that, they turned it into an arcade. So this is the play place that we have for the kids. And of course, it was all closed off. Barnes & Noble in the background there. All those big windows. And that's where Shields moved into originally when they moved into the mall in 94. Yeah. And then Shields moved from that Barnes & Noble space over to here, their own addition. And Barnes & Noble was literally across the street in the strip mall, and they moved into the old Shields space. So, interesting thing, Shields offers free fudge just inside the door there. They have a little cafe, and you can go in and ask for a sample of fudge, and they'll give you a healthy size chunk of fudge, whatever you want. And they have so many varieties, it's crazy. But this is the Herberger's wing, and that was Herberger's entrance down there at the end. They boarded up and put that design up, and as far as we know, both Herberger's and Sears are both still empty since they closed up and left. So, and this is the mall entrance to Barnes & Noble, but as I said before, I think they're keeping one door open so that they can make sure they don't violate the occupancy, because they can only have a 25% occupancy of the stores. So I think by keeping those doors closed, they can make sure that they keep a good head count. So, but Barnes & Noble is pretty large here on the right. It runs quite a ways down. I do have to say that I was really happy to see some stores opening and working. As you can see, those boxes there, getting things going and getting ready to open if they weren't open. It's been very strange having this place closed for 2 or 3 months. So it was nice to see the guy here at Finish Line. He was out there wiping the door handles off and doing a good job. So we got H&M up there on the left. And this is that new store that I was showing a few minutes ago, and they started building in late November, early December is when they started building this out. And I'm not sure when it opened, if it opened right before everything got closed down or if it just opened now, because I've never seen it before until today. The security guard walked by, so we wanted to just kind of skip ahead there. So right straight ahead there was Dairy Queen, used to be right there, and this was K Jewelers. They closed and left a few months back, and there used to be a big seating area here because of Dairy Queen. They took all those chairs and benches out, and this is the second entrance to Penny's. So the other end entrance I showed at the beginning is through this door and to the left across the store, and it goes into the food court. Interesting fact that Regis used to be in this space to the right, and we couldn't quite figure out because all their product is in there. But when I backed up, I was like, "Wow, look at the label scar. They don't have their sign up." I couldn't quite see what was going on, so I don't know if they closed before all the COVID or if they, kept going. So I'll list the different people that I've been kind of following in the description in the video. That way you can go out and check out real videos of malls that guys do that are just really fantastic at it. I would encourage you to go ahead and follow them and subscribe to them on YouTube because it's really interesting. Actually, you know what? I made a mistake earlier. It's American Eagle, not Buckle, that had the sign on the door, and you'll see that here in a minute. The interesting thing being that they thought they'd be open by March 28th, which was kind of comical. So we're kind of coming back to the hallway that leads to the food court is up here ahead and to the right. And we've made a full loop around the entire mall. Here's Caribou on the left-hand side here, and Christopher and Banks on the right, and then Claire's. They're all closed up, obviously. I guess they didn't take the photo booth out. It is still there. That's funny. But very empty. They usually have a lot more in this area. Kiosks, tables, benches, and stuff. So as we swing around the corner here, heading back to the food court, we're back on that main hall that we started out on. As you can see, Journey's on the left there, and these two shops on the right have been empty for a little while. They get filled up at Christmas time. Different vendors are in there, but the pillow store here is closed. Verizon, they moved their stuff over to a strip mall location they have in town that has direct access to the outside world. So the phone place, the Solaris here on the left, is obviously open. There's a guy sitting there. Zoomy is my favorite store ever. I bought stuff from them in Rochester, and they're just awesome. They were open. And here's some shots of the food court, all roped off and reconfigured. Where these garbage cans are, to the left of the garbage cans is where the tables used to start, and this place straight ahead is where people used to walk. Now it's all sectioned off with start here, social distancing, almost looks like dance steps. So I threw in some video that I did in April, on April 7th, obviously, kind of showing the mall empty. It's Tuesday night again, and it's about 6 p.m. Normally it'd be very busy, and as you can see, there is not a car in the parking lot. The whole place is closed. Target at the one end of the mall was open throughout the entire closure, so there was traffic there. That's where these cars are going. There's one car that's moving. There's another one that'll come here in a minute and go across the shot. They're going over to Target, and so that was open and there was traffic over there, but otherwise the entire mall was closed. And this is back to Saturday, May 23rd, when we got done and we came outside, and I thought it'd be interesting to show the difference in what was going on and who was there. And still by no means a packed house, but yet Penny's and a lot of these stores weren't open yet. So, and as always, Target has lots of people in its parking lot. So I hope this was enjoyable. If you liked it, go ahead, like the video, leave some comments. If I screwed something up or misspoke, let me know. Otherwise, thanks.